How y'all doing? This is the first episode of the Enhanced Pride podcast. These are my friends, Antonio and Ace.
How's it going,
yourselves.
You go first.
How's it going? I'm Antonio. Gonna keep it a buck. Just gonna talk about anime. Get it done.
I'm Ace. Me and Nate used to doing podcasts together, so.
For today's topic, we'll be talking about the toxic fan base of Boku no Hero, aka My Hero Academia. I guess you can call it the Boku no Hero effect. One of the things, the first thing I wanted to open with is how easily people can just sexualize minors in the way that they do and get so defensive when they're called out on it. I'm pretty sure, I know Ace, you haven't watched My Hero. And Tony, I know you have, right?
Yeah, I'm fully caught up on the anime.
Give me some ideas of what you know about the fan base.
I mean, just shipping random characters who just have very little interaction, just shipping characters who are, regardless of age, like adults and minors, children. It's very awkward. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the LGBTQ, but forcing it down people's throats in the sense that these characters very rarely interact in a way that it would portray romantic feelings, and most people have a problem with it, but that's just one of the negative connotations around the My Hero fan base in particular. It's just people take it to a point where it's like, okay, you're just blatantly homophobic, but there's also a point where enough,
100%.
I agree.
Ace, I know you haven't watched the anime yet, but I know you're into anime enough to have heard about the fan base, and I know we were talking about it earlier. What are your thoughts on the knowledge that you do know of it?
So, my whole thing is that it's a bad thing when I'm on TikTok and I'm into anime TikTok and comic TikTok and all that, and just general fiction TikTok. And so, it's a bad thing when the only thing I'm hearing about people when they talk about the My Hero fandom and their interactions online is all you hear is what Antonio was speaking about, which is characters just being randomly, needlessly sexualized, forced into shipping and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't hear about that with any other fandom. Like, you don't hear that in One Piece, you don't hear that in Naruto, you don't hear that in no comics. It's just bizarre, because when I talk to people, even when they talk about it, they're like, the My Hero community is so bad because it's just needlessly sexualized for no reason, and it's a lot of children.
My Hero Academia, when I first started, was in my top 10 anime. I love the anime. Regardless of the hate, I have a friend who called Midoriya Green Naruto. The anime in itself, in my opinion,
Who said the bar?
Oh my god.
The anime has great character, not world building. It has decent world building to me, but great character building. It's a unique too. Everybody born in the world has superpowers, and the main character, was born without. I feel like it's a very unique style of anime. I loved it. I still love it to this day. But the killer for me is people asking me, "You watch My Hero? Who do you ship?" I'm not one who ships two characters in anime. I watch anime for what it is. It's a shonen anime. I want to see action. I want to see fighting. And one thing My Hero does great is the fighting, the character building, and the world building can use some improvement. But it's sad that a fan base can kill such a great anime.
I got a question, because you're on a downer spiral right now. So you're talking about you like the things you like about it. Me, as someone who hasn't seen it but knows about this terrible fan base, and for other people who've heard just about the terrible fan base, you got to put them on. You got to give them the positives. So what did you like about it between, I want to hear from both of y'all, this is your thing, but still I want both of y'all telling me what y'all like about the character building and the action and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, My Hero is one of the most popular, hyped up anime, and it's, for what it does correctly, it deserves it, definitely. I think I definitely think like certain characters like Shoto Todoroki, who's the one with the ice and the fire, half and half. Like his development from season 2 and 1, because he's a main focal point in like the later seasons, but in season 1 he's kind of just there. Everyone knows him to be this powerhouse, but he's not really fleshed out really. But in season 2, and I think a lot of people come this way too, like come to this opinion, where season 2 for a lot of people it was a peak because that the main thing that happens in season 2 is Midoriya, the main character, and Todoroki have this incredible battle, but it's not just a shonen action fight. There's also like concepts and like it's a battle of ideology really.
100%. One thing about My Hero that a lot of people fail to realize is I fell in love with some of the characters. For example, Todoroki, as you said, watching season 1, you didn't really know much about him. But what you did know was he was a powerhouse. And my first stigma about him was he was that really strong character that was kind of rebel against the whole class. But then as you grew to know him, he has a heart. You learn the traumas of his past. You learn everything he goes through. And Todoroki is your average student who has such high expectations that he has to live up to because of his father being the number 2 hero in Endeavor.
Facts.
Ace, I know again you haven't watched the anime. What are some things you would want to speak on or learn more about My Hero?
Well, between what both you just said, that just like, made me think is that you guys are talking about Midoriya who has no powers until All Might and whatever exactly transpired with that situation. And Todoroki, who I know, he's the son of the number 2 hero, and he was kind of like force bred to become like a perfect version of what his father couldn't be. And it's kind of interesting when you think about that. It's like the kid who has every expectation to be perfect, and the kid who's expected almost to fail until he's given a chance to succeed, really.
100%.
100% agree. When you touched on it there, but like Todoroki, his family trauma, like it starts to show in season 2, and it's hinted at in season 1 because he rebels to use his fire. Like that's like his main like stopping point. He wants to do it with his own power, and that's where Midoriya helps him in realizing that the fire might be passed down from his father, but it's his own quirk. So I think Horikoshi, the guy who writes the story, he did a great job of portraying Midoriya's like hero-like qualities and wanting to help even someone who is his rival. Like at this point in the series, Todoroki is number 1 in that class. He didn't have to take the test. He was recommended. Only like 4 people in the original, it's in class A and B. A gets 2, B gets 2. Only 4 of those people got into UA, the school, without having to take an actual test. It was a sample size of the best promising, young, inspiring heroes. And so even coming in with that expectation, you as a watcher, you're expecting Todoroki to be this powerhouse, and he does live up to that name, but you might not assume, because in season 1, again, he's not really shown off, he has feats, but you don't see much of him, his personality-wise, but they expand upon that. I definitely think Todoroki is a great example of when My Hero is good.
We talked a lot about the characters. We talked a lot about why we love the anime. It's sad. Earlier today, I was going online finding certain things about My Hero, fan art in particular, and I saw some really disgusting things. I saw you know who Overhaul is, right?
Yeah.
I saw Overhaul and the girl
Eri.
Yeah. I saw fan art of them.
For context, for those of you who haven't seen, Eri is like a 6-year-old girl and Overhaul is a 40-year-old man.
Mind you, Overhaul abused Eri, did experiments on her. The community is so disgusting. They shipped Overhaul and Eri together. I saw fan art of them kissing. I saw fan art.
That's filthy. That's
If you search up overall in Airy on Google,
or don't.
if you do,
Disclaimer.
I did it earlier.
Oh no.
You know what popped up? Overall and Airy marriage, overall and Airy relationship status, discussing things.
Terrible. It's not only just that, like, obviously the terrible age difference. Overhaul is,
Probably in his late 20s, mid 20s.
yeah, I think he's an older guy, but they're related.
Oh my.
Airy
God.
and Overhaul are full blood related. I believe him to be either her father, like full on
Father?
or her uncle. Her backstory is very unknown. We just know that she calls him father, and they have a terrible relationship, but they are still family.
Ace, I want to ask you something.
What up?
Do you think it is okay for a grown woman, let's say 25 plus, 30, to dress up as a 13-year-old teenage girl, fully cleavage exposed, butt exposed, being overly sexual, while trying to cosplay and pretend to be this girl?
I feel like when you do that, you're active. Like, you can dress up as someone and make it an adult version, of course. But when you go out your way to make a sexy version of there's no sexy version of a 6-year-old. Let me slow that down. But if you try to, sexualize a costume that's supposed to represent a 6-year-old, it's like, what is wrong with your brain? Like, how are you thinking like this? That's just, imagine the chaos that would ensue if it was like something more grounded in reality and it wasn't like an anime. Because people might be like, oh, it's just an anime, blah, yada, yada. But then you wouldn't want your 6-year-old kid,
Exposed to that.
Exactly, even worse. You don't want someone like your children growing up exposed to that on cartoons and then thinking that's something that's normal, because that's just what the fan base is like. You have to keep children away from that kind of toxic fan base and craziness.
I have nothing against the LGBT community. I identify as a straight male. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not okay to force children into trying to figure out their sexuality at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. That is not okay at all. And one thing about the My Hero fan base, if you don't agree with their beliefs, expect racism, expect homophobia slanders, expect being called a bigot, expect being called a lot of things. I don't think in my mind it is okay at all for a child, because in this day and age everyone has a phone. My little brother got his first phone at like 6 or 7. I got my first one at 14. That shows you the difference. It's my little brother scrolling through TikTok or going on Google or things like that. It is not okay for him to see 2 14-year-old boys kissing or art of a grown man being with a little girl. That's not okay at all. Again, like I said, I have nothing against the community at all, but
the LGBT community.
Yes.
But the My Hero community needs to chill.
Stop pushing these stigmas on little kids, please. It's disgusting, really.
Yeah, I would also have to agree, because you might think the Airy Overhaul is an outlier, but it's really not. There are people who ship Midoriya and All Might, who's his mentor, which is
his
a little
literal mentor.
There's nothing there, and
again, All Might's a grown man. Midoriya's a teenage boy.
Yes. They also have Airy and Aizawa, because after they fight, they beat Overhaul. She's taken in, she's rescued, but it comes down to the main teacher taking her in. It's actually really sad when you think about it, because Airy has been through so much traumatic things, and she's finally saved, and people twist it in a way that it's sick, really.
It's disgusting.
I think one of the issues that goes beyond My Hero and into fiction in general, and it's something that just messes with fan bases, is when you just put 2 people together who just for no reason, just because they're 2 characters that interact and you're like, you know what? Just put them together. No, like y'all gotta chill with that because it's like every relationship. Like there's no platonic relationships in y'all eyes. It's just two people interact. They gotta want to just shake you, like relax. Like
there's no correlation at times.
You know what's crazy? What I've been seeing, I've been seeing a lot of Goku and Vegeta ships.
That I haven't seen that, and I'm thankful I haven't.
That's a first for me.
I have to get off Goku talk. I'm like, nah, you gotta go, bro.
That's Dragon Ball Z is the anime that got me into anime. It was my gateway anime. It's been my favorite anime for a long time, and I'm not one of these Dragon Ball Zero fans that Goku beat everybody. Dragon Ball
solos.
Vegeta solo shout out.
Vegeta's different.
Saiyan Prince of Nobody.
You know what I seen? I don't know if y'all know this, but the creators of My Hero were receiving death threats.
Yeah. Death
threats because they weren't shipping certain characters that people wanted shipped. And something that's completely stupid to me, they were receiving death threats. I don't know if it was the end of season 4, Endeavor's redemption arc. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, people were going in on that time.
Mind you, Endeavor is the most hated character in that show.
Literally, and they were like hardened criminals.
Like the creators were receiving death threats from people because certain things weren't discussing things that these people wanted. And if you can go out your way to send someone a death threat over a animated series, you don't belong in this world, to be honest.
You're missing a point. Virgo, you're missing a point to start.
Way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, like way too much time on your hands. For a 20 plus adult to have the time in their day to send a death threat.
Bro, you need a job if you send a death threat to another grown man in Japan.
In Japan.
Come on, bro. I can't even mail a letter. I couldn't even mail a letter, bro.
An animated series where a new episode comes out every week and you're sending these people death threats. Come on.
And it's just an incredible thing because obviously Horikoshi's made incredible strides. He's successfully made a manga that is well received, not just in Japan, it's recognized globally.
Mm-hmm. And where are you putting it currently? Because I know y'all read manga, so where y'all putting it right now?
Right now? All time?
In my
right now,
opinion, or
compared to other manga going right now?
That's hard because there's so many good anime right now, and there's so many new. Like you have the new season of Bleach, you have the
Chainsaw Man.
Off the top of your dome, where are you putting it? Because I want to know how high up my how badly I gotta resist the My Hero fandom to watch My Hero.
I can't speak for Nate here, but honestly, season 6 was incredible. I thoroughly loved it. I genuinely think it was the best season of the show, like the most recent one. It's up there. You have to give credit where credit is due.
Okay, what's above it? I'm curious.
Dragon Ball Z, Hunter x Hunter.
Super not going right now.
Huh?
Super not going right now.
I'm talking about manga. The manga's going.
Alright, my fault.
So I put Hunter x Hunter at my very top because if you're a Hunter x Hunter fan, you know how long we've been waiting.
That manga's still going?
Yeah, it just resumed.
Oh,
they're up to chapter 400 now.
Yes,
I caught up last night.
Hunter x Hunter, my very one. Hunter x Hunter is my favorite anime.
Never okay.
Okay.
Smoking that marijuana pack.
DBZ, Dragon Ball Z has always had a special place in my heart. It was the anime that introduced me into anime. For me, you can't tell me anything about Dragon Ball Z.
Vegeta's his hero.
My fault. Number 3, Bleach. The 1,000-Year Blood War just goes too hard for me. I'm sorry. Number 4, Mob Psycho season 3. I don't know.
Great anime.
I don't know if you watch Mob Psycho, and then My Hero.
Gotcha. So you think it's better than Boruto?
Yeah.
No, I meant that seriously. Cause is the manga for Boruto that bad? Like, am I really doing right
Boruto one?
I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just Boruto doesn't grab my attention. After the Ishiki arc, my attention was.
I didn't make it past the first Naruto and Sasuke fight. Like Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki, I really couldn't. I think Boruto's popularity has to be attributed to the fact of how popular Naruto really is.
It's so bad that I seen a clip on YouTube of Sasuke losing to a raptor.
I've been hearing about it, but I haven't seen the clip.
He used his Mangekyo Sharingan on this
On a dinosaur?
a literal dinosaur.
Bro lost to Pascal Siakam.
Not even a T-Rex, a raptor.
No,
Bro
Pascal
lost the fight to Pascal Siakam, bro.
Mangekyo Sharingan and everything. Now, if he didn't lose, don't crucify me. I don't know the full details, but I know he did fight it and go damn near full power. And when you take Sasuke, who was like fighting god level threats in his verse, to fighting a raptor.
Neji ain't got for this.
But here's the thing: who's that Raptors coach? It's Nick Nurse.
Nick
So
Nurse.
can you really blame him?
He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, I'm crying, bro. I'm crying.
Shonen today is at an all-time high. I'm not disrespecting the classics, of course. The Yu Yu Hakusho's, One Pieces of the world, amazing. But 2023 is the year for anime. Chainsaw Man, Mob Psycho, Attack on Titan's coming out,
Coming back in March.
Dragon Ball Z. There's so much good anime right now,
58.
and I can understand why someone falls behind. There's so much to watch, so much.
Yeah. Also, like, we're barely touching the surface when it comes to just looking at shonen. There's also been incredible releases in other genres this season. I don't know if you guys heard about Blue Lock.
I did.
Blue Lock was incredible this year too.
King of Anime Matsukaze actually told me about it.
Another genre of anime besides shonen. Shonen is my favorite. I don't care what anybody says. Isekai. My favorite isekai is Overlord.
What's that? Speak English for us. Us.
Antonio, do you watch Overlord?
humans.
I've not seen it.
No, I mean Isekai.
That's the one with Ainz Al Ghul, though, right? Yeah.
What's Isekai mean? Because
Okay,
I'm just a normal human.
Let me inform Ace here.
I've never been to Japan.
An isekai is a genre of anime where typically a character gets killed or
Reincarnated.
goes to sleep or whatever happens to him, and he wakes up in like an alternate world. You ever seen Sword Art Online?
I heard of it. I understand the premise.
Antonio, is Sword Art Online considered an isekai?
Sword Art Online is an isekai. I can also say that it's my favorite anime. Bear that as you will.
Take Sword Art Online. A person getting stuck in an alternate world, trying to figure out how to get back.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You ever heard of ReZero?
Yeah, I have.
That's one of the more famous ones.
Konosuba too.
Mm-hmm.
What's ReZero about? I thought it was something.
ReZero is about that's my second favorite isekai. His name is Shubru, the main character. I forgot how. I think he just wakes up. No. I forgot how he gets in the alternate world, but he wakes up in like a fantasy world, and he was cursed by a witch who loved. I'm not gonna say too much because in case you decide to watch it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. He was cursed to basically whenever he dies in this alternate world, he always basically respawns. I think like 2 days prior or like a certain point prior, and he's cursed with that. And the longer he lives, the more his reset button is pushed forward. So say he dies today on Thursday and he comes back on Tuesday. From Tuesday, say he lives till 3 weeks from then. He dies and then he'll come back to life a few days before that. He's forever cursed with this, and he can't tell anybody that this is happening to him because whatever caused this to happen to him doesn't allow him to talk. And the whole anime, if you watched it, is about him suffering. He suffers a lot.
Can he write?
Can he write?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Can you write down like asking?
Know what happened?
Oh no, he can't inform anybody.
Okay.
It's an interesting premise. That's the one with Rem and Ram.
If you watch ReZero, it's about suffering. He suffers to the match. Close people killed, tortured in front of him. Himself being killed and tortured, knowing he can't do nothing about it. Mind you, he's powerless. He doesn't have any powers. And he lives in a fantasy world where everybody knows magic or like a knight or things like that. It's a sad anime. Me watching it myself, I definitely like felt bad for the character.
Is it any sadder than Vegeta being the Prince of No One?
Who does Vegeta need to be the prince to?
The only person he's the prince of is stronger than him.
He's
Whoa,
Damn.
whoa, whoa.
Damn.
Are you caught up with the
Damn.
current Dragon Ball Z manga?
I am not.
That's disrespectful.
Okay, so before you say things like that, first of all, let me point some facts to you, right? Are you well versed in Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Are you caught up completely in the anime at least? Because I know
Yeah,
you're
fully.
Okay.
And I've seen superhero, I guess.
Vegeta has never lost a fair fight to Goku.
Oh, that's crazy.
The first fight they had,
Didn't he lose the Majin fight?
no, he didn't. He won. The first fight they had, was he or was he not jumped?
By fodder.
No. Let me tell you everything
He
that's
was
happened to him.
jumped.
He was
He was
hit
jumped.
with a
He was
full
jumped.
power Kaioken ×4 Kamehameha, right? And survived.
Yeah, right?
Then he was hit with a spirit bomb, point blank, and survived, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still had the strength to beat everybody up, right? Mind you, who at the end of that fight was in more critical condition? And mind you, the same person who received all the help.
Goku was suffering.
Goku was suffering, and Goku had all his allies. Vegeta was by himself.
But the thing is, Goku didn't let Vegeta get to that point because they was going to put Vegeta on a T-shirt after putting all that pain on him.
If it was a one-on-one fight, you can't not tell me Vegeta would have packed him up.
That's true, but let's consider this fact. What was Vegeta doing all those years prior?
Before?
Yeah.
Not training.
Flying around, conquering planets. He
Yep.
was getting stronger because he does not have the same power level he
But
did as a kid.
no one was on Vegeta's power level to challenge him.
But even
That's
then,
not true.
even then,
Who?
he was putting in work.
Who?
Okay, starting off, Zarbon and Dodoria and Frieza.
But my point is, he never fought them.
But the fact that there's people that
Those
are stronger
three
shows
were
that.
stronger than him.
Alright, I put it like this. Goku's gone through countless boosts. What's the word?
Zenkai boost.
Zenkai boost. Vegeta didn't go through a single Zenkai
But-
boost before he met Goku.
But going through like what Vegeta was fighting and what Goku was fighting are like very different. Vegeta was like fighting like warriors.
Vegeta wasn't fighting nobody.
He was fighting.
Vegeta was in
conquering.
space, pointed 2 fingers at a planet and destroyed it.
Yes, he did. But at the same time, he was also conquering planets because the
Yeah.
Frieza Force conquers planets. So
That's
he had
right.
to be out there conquering and fighting people.
Right.
Because when he pulls upon Namek, we know that this like he has to have been fighting people because when they pull upon the Namekians, right? It's the Ginyu Force, it's Vegeta, it's the Earthlings, and they get there and they're fighting, and the Ginyu Force fights the Namekians, and they slaughter most of them, and it gets to the point and Nail ends up fighting Frieza, but
Yeah,
he gets
Nail.
packed up, so we
Right.
know that the Frieza Force is fighting people. So
Yeah.
Vegeta was fighting people, and we know the only people Goku was fighting was some relatively frail humans.
I put it like this.
I disagree.
The first time,
Relatively.
He wasn't only fighting humans. Original Dragon Ball, Demon King Piccolo.
That's true. That's true.
yeah, right. No, I'm not gonna discredit Goku. Goku's fought people like Garlic Jr. who had the power to create black holes and suck up any and anything. It's Goku's fought. He's had his fair share for formidable opponents. But at the same time, you cannot tell me one-on-one fight that Vegeta has lost to Goku. But in my opinion, Vegeta has won the first fight because he was jumped. The Majin Vegeta versus Goku fight, Majin Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2 Goku were on the same skill level. Whether you argue Goku had Super Saiyan 3 or not, he did not use it. So Super Saiyan 2 Goku fighting Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta had that fight. Even if you watch the fight throughout the duration of it, there was no clear stronger or weaker foe. The fight, they never had a full-blown fight after that. It was mainly training fights. In their training fights, it was stated that Vegeta in his base form was superior to Goku. The thing about Goku, his transformations are better than he has more control over his transformations. In the manga, Vegeta one-on-one beat Goku for the first time. That's why I say stay in the manga. They had Whis told them to fight, and no transformations allowed. One-on-one fighting. They fought for. I think Broly was there too, but he wasn't allowed to fight for obvious reasons.
That's messed up.
Vegeta beat Goku in a one-on-one fair fight with Whis watching. Goku on the ground, Vegeta the victor. And people love to hate on Vegeta, but they can't tell me one time Vegeta has lost to Goku.
I just want to say one thing. I love Vegeta more than I love Goku. I will say that.
And I will always say that. He's my favorite Dragon Ball Z character.
I think Vegeta goes through way more character development. But to say he's never lost to Goku
He hasn't.
Here's the
is
thing.
wild.
He hasn't.
Here's the thing. Like, you can argue that, but at the same time, Goku has better feats than Vegeta.
As of right now, no.
Also, that's true. I
I'm
just
saying
want to
leading up to this point,
Of
because
course.
prior to this, like in every like instance of them ending an arc, Goku, like at least in the anime, almost every time Goku's implied to be stronger. And you could talk about the Super Saiyan 2 fight and him not using Super Saiyan 3 and him winning, but the fact that he has Super Saiyan 3, which is a times 50 multiplier on top of what he had, implies that he had to be stronger. Because if
put it like this, I'm sorry to cut you off.
If Vegeta wasn't using only his own strength, because he had the Majin thing going on, and Goku, it's not like Goku was trying to really kill him or nothing.
But that's why I'm saying it was even, because Goku was able to train in Otherworld. Training in Otherworld isn't like training in the real world where you feel the natural laws of physics on your body. When you train in Otherworld, it's like a natural boost to you. So Goku going Super Saiyan 3 and obtaining that transformation is the same thing as Majin Vegeta, because Goku was training with the god of the entire quadrant of galaxies. Goku was training in the afterlife with very strong warriors without the restrictions of the real world. While Vegeta, mind you, he was alive the whole time on planet Earth, didn't have such training. Mind you, who were all of Goku's mentors and who mentored Vegeta?
We can talk about who's like more naturally adept and stuff like that. But the argument we're making is, or at least the point I'm trying to make is that, if we're gonna go by their feats and stuff like that, Vegeta might be stronger now, and there's probably instances where he's been stronger. But because of the fact that they don't generally fight, and their strength of against each other is usually measured against other people, is why I say that.
I understand.
I just want to touch on one thing. It's really just a questionable thing. In the first fight,
right,
who was Vegeta with?
Nappa, that was it.
He was with Nappa. Who kills Nappa?
Vegeta.
So you can't really say he's jumped when he chose to be jumped.
But that's true. That's true.
But even with Nappa there, wouldn't have Goku just packed him up anyways?
No, Nappa was putting mitts on Tien, Chiaotzu. You mean to tell me Yajirobe and Krillin are putting
Goku
mitts
got there,
on?
who outmatched who?
Yeah, Goku outmatched
Nappa.
So even if Vegeta didn't kill Nappa, Nappa would have been incapacitated either way.
Yeah, so then that means Goku and Vegeta could have fought one-on-one.
Goku and Vegeta did fight one-on-one.
Yeah.
And guess who came in to help Goku? Because Goku was getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, they came in to help him because he fried his help.
Yeah.
Maybe if Vegeta would have stepped in and fought Goku himself off rip, he wouldn't have to fry Nappa like that.
Whoa.
He could have been like, Nappa, watch my back.
You remember that arc, right?
Yes.
You remember how nobody, it wasn't certain if Goku was coming back or not, right? So Vegeta was like, okay, I'm gonna wait, but after a certain time, my friend's gonna come in there and whoop your ass. Right? You remember that?
But I still
Wait, what?
Because also Nappa had the Cybermen. Nappa and the Cybermen were putting hands on them too.
The Cybermen violated
for no reason.
Right.
I think
again, these are world conquerors compared to martial artists. I know they have some things on their side, but these are world conquerors again.
100%.
But you're also forgetting one factor, and that is Goku had the opportunity to, but he did not kill Nappa. If Nappa had a chance to recover, he could have backed Vegeta up. Instead, Vegeta took his help and he blew him up sky high.
Vegeta wouldn't have taken his help.
Dead violated.
So no matter how
he's
you
a
look
very
at it,
prideful person.
whether Vegeta killing Nappa or not doesn't matter, because no matter what, Nappa would have never helped because Vegeta would have never allowed it.
But
so
we're just saying this.
Even with all the help coming in to help Goku.
The thing about the whole jumping thing though is that he still allowed himself to get jumped.
But at the same time,
regardless of whether or not it was his pride, he allowed himself to get jumped.
If it was a one-on-one fight, Vegeta would have won. That's what I'm trying to say.
Fair.
I disagree. I disagree purely because I feel like there's a little bit of a misremembering here. Because for the majority of that fight, it is Goku fighting solo against a gigantic ape. And the only help Goku gets is Yajirobe coming in and cutting off the tail.
That's not true. He had Krillin to help. He had Gohan
did start
to help.
Beating the bricks off him with that when he went ape.
Ozoro.
He was
Don't forget Krillin and Gohan.
violating.
Krillin and Gohan were there, but they weren't really doing much to
Mind you, Goku,
Vegeta.
you can say Vegeta has the Ozaro boost, but Goku also had Kaioken, which Vegeta didn't have access to, which multiplies Goku.
But Goku didn't have his tail.
By 10. The Kaioken boost at the time of the Saiyan Saga is 10. Ozaru is more than 10.
So put it like this, right? Remember their Beam Clash? How Goku needed the power of the Kaioken to overpower Vegeta. Mind you, at that time, Goku's Kamehameha wasn't strong enough to vaporize planets. Vegeta's Gallic Gun was. And Goku used the ×4 Kaioken to overpower, right?
Are we sure that that's not the case?
What do you mean?
Because Piccolo blows up the moon before Goku even goes for training.
Right.
So if we're gonna say like that Piccolo's that strong and Goku gets at least thousands of times stronger between then and the several year training period, he has to be at least as strong, at least able to blow up a planet.
Okay, so that even furthers my point. Goku multiplies his Kamehameha, which was initially weaker than the Gallic Gun Vegeta used. So he multiplies the power, which hits Vegeta full on. So you have the power, as you say, to vaporize a planet on top of Kaioken, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Hits Vegeta full on. He didn't block it, he didn't dodge it, full on, full contact. Vegeta gets set flying away. The next panel shows Vegeta. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't overly hurt.
He wasn't hurt.
He just gets. And if you remember, he's incredibly angry. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
He gets incredibly angry and he flies back down to the earth to proceed to F Goku up.
Oh my god!
And mind you, they fight for a little while. Yeah, Vegeta used the power of the Ozaru, but mind you, didn't Vegeta get hit with a full on Spirit Bomb, and was still more durable than Goku was at the end of the fight. Do you remember that?
And he still ends up losing the fight, though.
But he ends up losing the fight because you remember when Gohan transformed into a Grade 8?
Gohan came in clutch.
But
then again, Vegeta went Grade 8 first.
Right? But Yamashirogi also cut off Gohan's tail, am I right?
No.
Or he cut off Vegeta's tail.
What happened with Vegeta? Did Vegeta?
I think it was Vegeta who in the end took off. I don't remember.
I feel like Vegeta cut off Gohan's tail.
Yamashirogi cut off somebody's tail.
It was Vegeta's.
It was Vegeta.
It was
right?
definitely Vegeta's.
So Vegeta had to deal with another Ozaru. He had to deal with a Spirit Bomb coming at him. And then he had to also deal with the fact that Goku was still, even though he was out of commission, he could still put a little bit of mitts on him.
Here's the biggest thing, though. We're acting like Vegeta's Ozaru and Gohan's Ozaru are anywhere comparable.
But at that time, it was because Vegeta was insanely injured.
When Vegeta won Ozaru, he was not that injured.
No, I'm talking about after the fact, when Gohan transformed.
Yeah, but even with that being the case, Gohan is he's not comp until he becomes Ozaru.
My thing is,
that's the only thing that even makes him thing, and it's like battle injured Vegeta versus Ozaru infused fodder, because Gohan is absolute fodder at that point, because he barely can even see them moving at the beginning of the fight.
My point is, without Goku's friends being there, Vegeta would have never been hit with the Spirit Bomb he was hit with. Vegeta would have never had his tail cut off, or he would have never had Goku's son, I don't know how old he was at the time, to help him out.
He's like 14.
He was not that old.
Whoa.
He was not that old.
No, he's 14 in Cell Saga.
Yeah, he's like Gohan 8 or 10.
Not even. He was like 5, 6.
No.
Yes.
I want to say he was
because
like 8.
the skip from Frieza to Cell is like 7 years, right? So then he had to be like...
No, the skip from Cell to Buu was 7 years.
Oh, yeah. So, because he's 14 in Cell.
Right.
So he's probably maybe 9, 10 in Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took them a year, at least a year, because they had to wish everyone back, right?
Yeah, they did.
After that, and then, so maybe he's 9.
What makes you think Goku would have won that one-on-one fight? With no help whatsoever, nobody there, just Vegeta and Goku.
Just Vegeta, Goku, Saiyan Saga.
Saiyan Saga, Goku and Vegeta. What makes you think, out of everything that's happened to him, that Goku would have won that on his own, no help? I want you to explain this, and then I'll explain my point.
It's a loaded question.
He said it's a loaded question.
Look, he said what he said, right? So back it up.
All right. Let me think too.
Because you watched that too. How could he have Goku won that?
The thing is, though, they both had boosts. They just had different boosts. Because they forced Vegeta to go Ozaru.
And mind you, Vegeta was way more durable than Goku. I think you can agree with me on that.
Yeah.
Because he got hit with way more powerful attacks. So taking Vegeta's durability into the effect.
Yeah, but he also had to go Ozaru, which really damn near leveled everything.
He won with Zoro after he tanked a 4x Kaioken Kamehameha.
That's fair, but you know,
It's still an incredible.
we have to also remember the fact that Goku's at like a 300 power level before starting training.
Goku was also training with the God of the North Galaxy.
King Kai is not.
But
Whoa! King Kai is what?
King Kai is him. He's not him.
King Kai was stronger than all of those people fighting on that planet.
I think there was one
because he was low key. He was not messing with Vegeta because Vegeta was making him nervous.
Vegeta was making him nervous. Vegeta was making him
He was
nervous.
making King Kai nervous.
I was gonna talk about the difference in like, because the reason King Kai's planet is so like beneficial to train on is because the difference in gravity.
Intense gravity.
Yeah, but later on in the series, not obviously in Satan Saga, Vegeta makes his own with the help of Bulma.
He does.
You want my honest opinion why I believe Vegeta's potential is higher than Goku's? Because Goku has trained with angels. Goku has trained with gods. Goku went to planet Yardrak to train and learn techniques and really learn how to control his ki. While that whole time, Vegeta was training Dolo and keeping up with him.
He falls behind Gohan though.
Everybody falls behind Gohan.
Whoa.
Still.
Everybody fell behind Gohan.
Gohan, you can't say that Goku's training with all these people and then say Vegeta's keeping up with him, but he's also falling behind Gohan, who had less training than Goku when he surpassed everyone.
And Gohan also surpassed Goku.
Yeah.
And Goku, mind you, was training on planet Yardrak, who taught him how to fully master his ki, and they also taught him certain abilities that
Instant transmission,
and which Goku knew at the time but never used, spirit fusion.
Yeah, he doesn't use it often.
The biggest thing about this, right, to me, is that you have to understand the difference of their upbringings. Like Goku wasn't, raised in war, so expecting him to be a warrior is unfair. He kind of had to have masters to teach him. It's like he's like Vegeta's going around conquering planets. He kind of has to have a strong. You can't be frail going around conquering planets.
No. We're talking about after the fact. Yes, before that,
I know,
they had different upbringings.
but I'm saying like in him naturally, that's part of why I feel he didn't seek out masters until eventually asking to train with Whis, because he's just used to just like surviving and that being his training.
Right. My thing was Goku acquired the power of Super Saiyan God, correct?
Handout.
Yeah. Vegeta was able to acquire that without a ceremony. Mind, he didn't get Super Saiyan God. He went further and went to blue.
That was a handout.
Straight to blue.
Huh?
No, it wasn't.
That was a handout.
How? Because if that was the case, Gohan would have had blue.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's a plot armor handout. That's a plot armor handout.
I just think
I'm not gonna use it against him because Goku also got it as a plot armor handout. But when you say that it's literally a,
can you say Ultra Instinct was a plot armor handout?
No,
I wouldn't say it was, because like the way it was introduced is different. They introduced it right, and he's I think he got the sign when he was fighting
Jiren.
Kefla.
He goes
Jiren, Kefla, and then Jiren.
He gets it.
He gets the sign
with
with Jiren.
Okay,
so.
Because Goku won Ultra Instinct a total of 3 times during the tournament. No, 4 times or 3?
I think it's 3.
3. The first time against Jiren, the second time when he fought Kefla, and the third time when he fought Jiren again.
When he masters it. He masters it against Jiren. He's able to sustain it against Kefla, but he unlocks it against Jiren.
Yeah.
And so, I feel the way that was introduced, it was a technique that they said was, when it's autonomous movement or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of a thing that is less of a literal power-up and more of a technique to master. Because you could say any ability is technically a handout, but the way they describe Super Saiyan Red and Blue is that, you have to do a ceremony and then you get God Ki.
It felt
like they were just like, well, we're not going to have these dudes do the ceremony again. That'd be stupid.
Right.
And so I'm not holding that against Vegeta, but I'm also not using it for Goku.
Right.
It's just kind of a neutral thing because it's just so stupid how they could have introduced it in a different way.
100%.
Like Beerus and Whis were both there. They could have said, you have to do X, Y, Z, and you would get Super Saiyan God, and that would have been fair. But they were like, no, you got to do it you basically gotta all get together and through the power of friendship, one of y'all's gonna become a god. It's
Yeah.
like what?
I would also disagree with UI being a handout, because at the very start of Super, it's like right before Frieza, I think, they're training with Whis, and Whis tells them it's foreshadowed. There's an ability that's even hard for Beerus to do. That's what we're talking about here. It's an ability that even the gods are having trouble mastering.
Literally, only the angels have mastered it.
You know,
Yeah.
some gods have achieved it, but they haven't fully mastered it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it's such an impressive feat. But it's foreshadowed early doors, but it's like 100 chapters before we even get the full payoff for it. That's why I don't like to call MUI or UI bullshit, because they were working towards it.
Right. So you give Goku this technique that even surpasses the gods by far.
Well, in terms of surpass the gods, they don't say it surpassed the gods. It's just difficult for them to attain.
It has to
Reaching
surpass the
a
gods
similar
because
level.
Jiren was stronger than every single god of destruction besides Beerus, and Goku was stronger than Jiren.
But I don't think he was stronger than him.
That's
I
not
think,
true. That is true.
No,
I think
the
what-
only one Jiren was stronger than, 100%, the only one that was confirmed Jiren was stronger than was Belmont.
That's
But
not
seeing
true
it-
because Belmont wasn't the strongest god of destruction. He was actually on the lower
He
spectrum.
actually didn't say that he was stronger than all the gods of destruction.
It's
They just said that
We
there's
said
we said there's. Someone said that there's a mortal here.
Yeah.
No, Belmont is the one who said.
It's Topo who says it. Topo says, on our universe, there's someone even stronger than me. That's the first thing he says. And then he says, this person I'm speaking of has surpassed our god of destruction.
We said that there's a mortal.
Yeah,
the tournament
he said
of
there's a
power.
mortal that
is
even the god of destruction.
Yeah, and if Jiren is stronger than his own god of destruction, right? That implies that he's stronger than a lot of others too.
I don't.
Because the gods of destruction are
Sure.
relatively the same in power.
Well-
I'm not saying they're all the same in power, but they're relatively close in power.
We can't say that because Beerus no diff them all, so he could just be
But
like
Beerus is different.
him being significant in the manga. He no different than sparring.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, because I thought there was, the fish-looking one?
Yeah.
I thought he was the only one who's ever beaten Beerus in something, so I thought he was stronger.
Beerus is the strongest god of destruction.
You know the one who
I know what you're talking
didn't
about.
fight, yeah?
I know what you're talking about. He's the strongest god of destruction. Beerus.
Really? Beerus clear.
Beerus the Destroyer is that guy.
And so, on top of that, I just think that
Mind you, if you go on the Dragon Ball Z wiki, they say Beerus is on the same level as Blue Vegito. And this isn't an opinion, this is facts.
Blue Vegito.
Yeah, Blue Vegito.
Blue Vegito was a monster. He
Yeah.
was literally beating the ever-living bricks off of Fusamasu.
This is facts. You can look it up. This is on the Dragon Ball Z official page, not a fan page.
I can see that because Blue Vegito, if he's comparable to Blue Gogeta is literally shaking the universe, mollywopping Broly. So that's
And
that's
Beerus,
reasonable.
they say, is on that level, the same level, not stronger, not weaker, on that level.
That's fair because
I hate to go off on a tangent, but where would you guys place Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo comparatively to MUI?
They're stronger.
Evolution.
And it's applied. That's not an opinion. It's a fact that they are stronger. The creator themselves said he's
I was-
stronger.
I
I
do
was
think
looking
Beast
at
Gohan
something-
is stronger.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
I was looking at something and maybe I'm mistaken, but I believe it said that they are not stronger than current Goku and Vegeta.
Akira Toriyama said the battle between Beast Gohan and Cell Max was the strongest fight ever shown in the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah, but there's like they're
Every
talking
single
about
fight.
current.
No,
They said currently they're stronger than them.
who's they?
Then like currently,
Because I'm going off straight
the
facts.
duo of I gotta check it. We'll look at it again.
Because this is when I read about.
because I it was a post and I believe it was
I disagree.
based on like one of the data books or something.
Because
Maybe
personally,
I'm mistaken, but
I think, Rage formed Broly. It took Goku and Vegeta fusing as Gogeta to beat Rage form Broly, right? I don't see Rage Broly being stronger than Cell Max.
No, this is all facts. None of this is opinion. Cell Max is stronger than Full Power Rage Broly. This is 100% facts. I'm not speaking from opinion. I've done my research. All this. Beast Gohan right now, besides Black Frieza, is the strongest Dragon Ball Z character. Besides Black Frieza, besides the gods and the angels and all that. I'm talking about mortals.
Because, and it's It's not even a fight, really. It's a mollywop what Beast
Yeah,
Gohan does to Cell
and
Max.
Beast Gohan no diffs that fight.
Clearly, it's not even.
No diffs that fight. Akira Toriyama, his own words, that was the strongest fight in all of Dragon Ball Z history.
I'm not gonna lie. If he no diffed
It was no diff.
Cell Max and Cell Max, first of all,
And Cell Max.
they could have had a name better than Cell Max.
Cell Max is above full power level Broly.
Should have named that boy Mitochondria or something. But nah, but for real though, they could have come up with something better than Cell Max. But if he no diffed Cell Max, I feel like at that point, where's the payoff? Because we always used to seeing everybody shaking and shaking until they get a form.
Now that you can't tell me was a given form.
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm just saying we're used to that. And then he comes through. Like, even when Goku went Super Saiyan and he beat Frieza, it wasn't sickening. Like, Goku was no diffing him, but at the same time, it was like, that's different. Because that was like the pinnacle of, we were like,
Yeah.
wow. Like, that's what we're waiting for. But, like, since then, there's been no diff fights except for maybe, there's been no diff fights. Even the ones like the fusion ones, the one where they broke the Potara earrings against Fused Zamasu, he was gonna know that Fused Zamasu, but the Potara earrings broke.
Fun fact, I don't know how they're gonna beat Black Frieza because Black Frieza is confirmed to be stronger than Blue Vegeta. Not Blue Vegeta. I'm sorry, Vegeta, because Vegeta's